What's up, pups? How you guys doing? I'm doing great, thanks for asking! Everything seems a little bit switched right now, I'm sure. The angles are different, the hair is different, everything's a little bit different. But you know what? Change is good. So I was kind of feeling nostalgic today, and I figured, what better way to embrace that nostalgia than to talk about past things. So without further ado, here are 5 stories from my childhood. So when I was younger, I used to really be into Pokemon cards, like abnormally into Pokemon cards, and I actually never played Pokemon cards, and I still to this day don't know how to play the card game. I just really like to collect them. So I walked around with a massive binder filled with every card that I owned, including the energy cards. You can fit up to 5 cards in one slot, alright? I'll just leave it at that. Not a ghost, Millie just walked in my room. So anyway, one night I was sleeping over at my friend Ashley's house, and she collected Pokemon cards too. And pretty much what we would do is we would just lay all our cards out on the ground and like reorganize them back in our binders. This is what we thought was fun when I was 14. This is what was fun. So we had just finished getting our cards back in our binders, and we're going through our books together and like, oh my god, what card do you have? Do you have this one? Oh my god, it's so great. We have the same cards. Yay! When all of a sudden we hear a knock at her bedroom window. Now, mind you, it is probably about 10 o'clock p.m. We are 14 years old. This is a sleepover. Who's knocking on a 14-year-old's window at 10 o'clock p.m.? I don't know. So I get up to the window and I pull back the curtain, and as soon as I pull back that curtain, Ashley's younger sister pops up in the window and scares us. I wish the story could end there. No, unfortunately, her sister scared me so bad that while still holding the curtain, I slammed into the lamp that was sitting on Ashley's dresser while the curtain was in my hand, which don't ask me how, but the lamp caught on fire. Well, I guess I should say the curtain caught on fire because the curtain hit the bulb and then it just boom, and then all of a sudden the entire curtain went up in flames. And we had also locked the bedroom door so that no parents would come in and no younger sisters would come in. And look what happened. So here we are, fumbling with the door handle, trying to get it unlocked so we can get out of the room, which is progressively catching more on fire. Finally, we get the door unlocked, we yell for her parents, we run outside, we're crying hysterical. The firemen come, but her mom had actually already put the fire out. She just ran to the bathroom with like a huge vase that was in the hallway and like poured the water on everything. And I also made sure to mention to Ashley's parents not to call my parents, because if my parents found out that I had started a fire, they would come pick me up. Not that I'd be in trouble, I just didn't want the sleepover to end. I also forgot one important aspect of the story. Ashley and I did not hesitate to grab our binders full of Pokemon cards during this whole thing and take them out with us. To hell with the house, we got our Pokemon cards. So I don't actually remember how old I was. I'm assuming I was around 4, 5, or 6 years old, but my dad used to have a group of friends that would come over and they would play tabletop games. They like to play, and I'm not even sure if some of you watching this are gonna know what I'm talking about, but they used to have tabletop RPG games that came with VHS tapes that you would watch while you're playing the game. It's sort of like Seen It of today, but RPG style, back in the 90s. So they used to play this one specific game called Nightmare, and I remember I would beg my dad to play board games with him and his friends when they would come over. Mind you, I am very young, and every single time I asked him to play, he would constantly tell me the same thing, that I would be too scared, it was too complicated, I wouldn't understand, whatever. So one night his friends came over and they were gonna play Nightmare, which is one of those RPG VHS tape games things. And I begged and begged and begged, and finally he was like, alright, fine, you can play, but I'm telling you, you're gonna get scared and you're not gonna like it. And of course, me being Miss Know-It-All, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get scared, it'll be fun. Yeah, I'm excited. So we start playing the game, and not even 10 minutes in, I couldn't handle playing my turn. Like 3 people went, and I remember closing my eyes every time the VHS tape would play because it was always scary things, like creepy witches and weird creatures, and you would have to do these scary things and things would pop up in the video and make you frightened, and like, I don't know, like I guess I was too young. And so it gets to be my turn and I'm supposed to watch the video of the creepy lady telling me what I have to do on my turn. And I couldn't handle it, and I was so freaked out that I ran out of the living room screaming and crying for my mom, and then my mom yelled at my dad for letting me play, and it was just funny. I really liked to play outside when I was young. And I was also the type of kid that really liked to explore things and touch things, and complete opposite of how I am now. So I'm not sure how other states handle their snail seasons, but California gets really bad snail seasons. Like, there's just like snail goo everywhere on every sidewalk when you're walking, and they're just, ugh. So gross. So I remember I was just finishing up playing and I was running inside my house, and there was constantly snails all over the walkway. And I looked down to my right, and on a stepping stone right by the sidewalk there were 2 snails, and one was on top of the other snail, like stuck to, like here's the shell and then here's the other snail right on top of the shell. And I remember looking at it and I'm like, no, he's suffocating! So I ran over to the snails and I picked them up and I started pulling one snail off the other one, except for I forgot that snails are sticky, so as I'm pulling, I'm putting pressure And suddenly, my fingers broke through both of the snail shells. And it was so bad. It was so bad, you guys. You don't know what disgusting feels like until you crush 2 snail shells in your hand and feel the disgustingness that is an actual snail with the slime and everything. And oh. So I ran into my house holding the 2 snails, crying and screaming and begging my mom to get it off me. And she was of course afraid of it. So she's like trying to like get me to like let it go. She's like, drop it, like hitting my hands, like get it out of here. That was probably the most traumatic experience of my childhood, was crushing 2 snails with my bare fingers. Ugh. So in elementary school, I thought I was the cool kid on campus, and I would walk around and stick up for people who were getting bullied, and people didn't really mess with me that much because I guess I stood up for other people. And I'll never forget this one specific day at school. It was at recess and I was playing on the monkey bars with my friends, and there was this one boy in our grade who just liked to like mess with all of the girls, just make fun of them and call them names and spit on them and throw rocks, and I wasn't having it that day. So this boy proceeds to make fun of one of my friends to the point that she starts crying and runs inside to the classroom to tell the teacher. So me being the big shot that I thought I was, I walked up to the boy, looked him square in the eye, and told him,
I'm not sure if you're aware, but do you know what happens to boys who are mean to girls?
No, what happens?
Your penis will fall off and then you'll turn into a girl.
No, I don't want to be a girl, I don't want to be a girl. So he proceeds to run inside and cry and tell the teacher, and needless to say, I ended up getting in trouble in that situation. This is another weird story. When I was about 6 or 7 years old, I remember that I was home one night with my mom. I think my dad was out somewhere. I'm sure that my brother was sleeping because at the time he would have been like 1 or 2 years old. But all the lights in the house were off because it was just my mom and I, and we were in the bathroom. So the only light that was on was the bathroom light. I remember that the bathroom in our house in California was at the end of a long hallway. So here's the bathroom, right? And then the hallway is like to where you guys are. So you would be the end of the hallway, and I would be the bathroom. The bathroom door was open while I was in the bath, and I remember just playing with my toys, and she's washing my hair and talking to me, and I'm talking back. You know, normal, average bath time. So all of a sudden I look up and I look directly down the hallway, which is dark. It's completely pitch black. And I'm just staring down the hallway. And my mom is washing my hair, sees me staring down the dark hallway, and she turns around like thinking, oh, is someone behind me? What's up? And so she's like, what are you looking at? And I tell her, oh, I'm just looking at my friend. So my mom turns around again and she's like, there is no one there. What friend? What are you talking about? And I say, yeah, my friend, he's at the end. My mom's like, well, who's your friend? Who is he? I don't understand. Your friend, what? And I'm like, yeah, my friend, the boogeyman. He's right at the end of the hallway. He's waving to me right now. He's right there. He's just standing there looking at us. So at that point, my mom gets up and she tells me to this day that she got chills all over her body, like cold sweats. She stands up, she goes out in the hallway, switches on the light, walks all the way into the kitchen, looks throughout the entire house, because she's freaked out. She thought I really saw somebody. Comes back into the bathroom and says, Kayleigh, there's no one in the house. And I'm like, Mom, you walked right by him. Like, he's been standing in the same spot. You walked right next to him. So she was just freaked out beyond belief, and I just was, you know, normal about it. I'm like, hey, it's my friend, what's up? Hey, what are you doing? You watching me get a bath? That's weird. So my mom takes me out of the bath, wraps me up, puts me in bed, and I guess she called my dad because she was so freaked out, and whatever he was doing, I guess he came home. But I know that that was one of the last times that I ever saw the boogeyman, because I remember growing up having an imaginary friend that I would see all the time, and it was just this guy. And from how I still envision him in my head, I would have to say he kind of resembles Slender Man in a creepy way, but only because every time I saw him, he was just a black shadow figure. Like, I never saw his face, I never saw what he was wearing. I just saw a black shadow figure, so whatever. I don't see imaginary people anymore. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed those 5 stories from my childhood, but now here's the catch. Kayleigh G. Hoover did a video a while back where she told 4 childhood stories, and at the end of her video, basically told everyone that one of the stories was a complete fallacy. So in my case, I've told you 5 stories, and one of them is completely false. And now here's the fun part. I want you guys to comment down below and tell me which story you thought was the fake story. Then next week, or possibly the week after, since next week I'll be in Chicago, I'll make a video telling you guys which one was the fake story, and I'll leave a list of the usernames who got it right. So happy thinking, you guys, and until next time, I'll see you guys in a few days with another video. Peace out, Trouts.